decent possessions for both teams. We'll go down the man between the benches and John Gallant. Johnny, how's things?
Pretty good down here so far. Great start here, I think, for the Colorado Mammoth. Got a good look on the O end, and to have Dixon taking a shot while he's backpedaling, that's a good defensive shift as well.
Here's Eli McLaughlin, who's been one of the hottest Mammoth in the past 3 weeks. Gives to Stephen Keogh. Skips it. Haywires takes a shot. Nice stick save there by Del Bianco. He quickly outlets to Curtis Manning. Scott Carney. He'll leave it there for Wesley Berg. Berg will wait for the late man off the bench, which is Dixon. Berg comes around the top, thought about the shot, tries to find Shatler, pass too hot for him. And Joey Capito able to pick up the loose ball behind his own net. Got the matching blue socks to go with the 303 jerseys. And Capito will give off to Chris Wardle. Adam, who's been a shining star in the past few weeks since getting 4 minutes. Rouet. Pushed down the side there by Tyson Bell. Adam, 8 on the shot clock. Outside shot by Wardle, knocked down by the stick of Mike Carnegie. And here goes Tyler Burton racing the other way. 2-on-1. And nice job by Colorado to get back to deny the transition by the Calgary Roughnecks. Here's Jeff Shatler. Skips it down to Dane Dobie. They're all over him with Creighton Reed. Back to Shatler. Near side Burke. Lowen to Shatler. High screen for Shatler. Comes near side. Digby. Diagonal feed goes high and wide and is picked up there by Josh Sullivan. And the Mammoth are off to the races. 3-on-3, no real numbers in transition. And Downing will slow things up.
And some good defensive start there for the Colorado Mammoth. They're putting some early pressure on the guys when they're clearing over the center, kind of forcing the guys late.
Inside feed, Stephen Keogh with a floor sweep. And his first goal here inside the Loud House. I talked to Stephen Keogh yesterday at practice, and I said it'll take you a while to get used to the system. He said, no, it's a fairly similar system to what they run in Rochester, and this is just a simple ball cut.
Yeah, I think somebody there on the Calgary team was caught ball watching, and great look by Eli McLaughlin, and great job by Stephen Keogh just coming across the crease, getting Del Bianco moving, and quick fake, and buried it below his glove.
That's his 4th goal in a Mammoth jersey, his 9th on the year. He had 18 points with Rochester. Keogh from McLaughlin and Downing, 3-0-2, gives Colorado a 1-0 lead. Keogh said he was really excited, looking forward to being on the home side of this Loud House crowd. It's a much different animal when you're wearing the home team colors here in Denver.
Yeah, and the fans are going to love him. That's a great way to get started here playing at the Pepsi Center.
Here's Shatler. Last time these two teams played, 12-8 victory in Calgary. That was the last game the Roughnecks have won. Moving pick call there on Berg as he laid out Cam Holding, and here's all the Mammoth the other way with Creighton Reed.
That's a bad 30 seconds there by Wesley Berg. It was him changing there that left Keogh open down the middle and then setting that illegal pick. He's getting an earful here from the coaching staff on the Roughneck bench.
Rouet, far corner, Cal Crawford. Outside shot save, Del Bianco, loose ball in the corner. Rouet battling for it. Scott Carnegie battling for loose ball, he'll come up with it. Retreats behind his own net, and he'll jog it across center. After this weekend, the Mammoth have a huge doubleheader next weekend, where they go to Saskatoon to play the Rush, then back home on a Sunday to take on the Stealth, almost call them the Ravens. Dixon inside, great shoulder save there by Dylan Ward, his first real stop of the contest. Ilya Gaich across the center, gives off to Chris Wardle. He had 2-2 last game. Offensive coach Dan Stroop really impressed with his offense. They had even distribution of the scoring. Swim move, Crawford turns back. Nice job by Tyson Bell to close the gap. Here's McLaughlin, shoot, posted in,
That's out.
Eli McLaughlin continues to have the hot hand. 16th of the season. He's 4 points now away from setting a season high, and that goes short side on Del Bianco.
Yeah, Teddy, I was watching Eli warm up. He was the last guy off the floor, and he was working on that shot right there. What I like about his windup is he doesn't have any extra cradles. He just gets his stick back, arms up and away, and he knows where he's put, and he has that deceptive twister where he goes top left. On that one, he just pulled the top right and fooled Del Bianco.
He is having a career year. He has 3 points or more in 8 straight games. And the Mammoth have all the momentum as they win another draw. Cam Holding gets across center and leads for Callum Crawford. 2 goals in a minute 37. This time McLaughlin from Rouet, and Crawford his 50th point of the year at 4:39. Haywires gonna work a short side 3-man game. Haywires still has it. Up top, Adams, Crawford. Tries to go diagonally to the lefty, and that pass gets knocked out. It's gonna be a 30-second shot clock on the Mammoth. That'll take us to our first TV timeout. The Mammoth lead at 2-1, Keogh and McLaughlin. And we'll be back with first quarter action live from the Pepsi Center.
Is brought to you in part by Sports Interaction, Canada's home for worldwide sports betting. Bet responsibly at sportsinteraction.com. Disclaimer, only residents of Canada may open an account with Sports Interaction. The service is not available to users outside of Canada.
He's got Digby on the take, scores!
Now back over to Dane Smith with a shot, hit the goal post inside, he scores!
Afraid you might miss out on the big stories from your favorite team? Well, not to fear, the NLL newsletter is here. All you have to do is subscribe to the new NLL newsletter, and you'll get weekly updates from everything that is happening around the league. What are you waiting for? Subscribe today.
He's got
remaining here in the first quarter. It all started with a goal from Stephen Keogh, his first inside the Loud House at 3-2 on a simple ball cut.
Yeah, I think the key to the Mammoth offense tonight is just to stay calm with it, keep the ball moving. It showed on these 2 goals here, getting guys through, getting the Roughnecks offense spread out, and it's opening up those cutters and those outside shots as well. So look for a little bit of mix of that from the Mammoth tonight to continue to be successful.
Johnny Golan, any chatter between the benches in that timeout?
I think Calgary's really looking at trying to get the entry pass a little bit cleaner into the middle. They've had some guys in front of the net open, just haven't been able to connect there. On the Colorado Mammoth side, they want to set a little bit firmer seals up. They really like how they're getting the Roughnecks to swing from side to side on their defense.
Here's Digby, inside feed, bird shot, shoulder save there from Dylan Ward. He's on his game early, denying the former Denver University product in close. Reed bumped into the sideboards and a nice hit there from Tyler Burton. Ball kicks loose. Roughnecks have a break, 3-on-2. Carnegie to McIntosh. Shoots, nice body stop there by Joey Capito as he sacrificed the thigh, getting inside of that shot. McRae picks up the loose ball, gives off to Carnegie. And McIntosh will give to Lowe, and Calgary will get the offense out on the floor. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Shatler skips it to Dobie in an isolation against Sullivan. Dobie, one-hand feed to Lowe and can't connect. And that pass goes high to Shatler, and that'll be another shot clock violation. Great defensive set there by Colorado. Here comes Eli McLaughlin, the latest goal scorer for the Mammoth, his 16th on the season. Haywire. Rouet as they try to shut off Crawford. Backdoor cut, pass goes high. Crawford picks it up. Swim move. Duck under, no room to go. Nice job by the Mammoth. Sorry, by the Roughnecks defense. The shot by Wardle just missed. Calgary runs the floor late, 3-on-2. Manning to Bobby Snyder, tries to go 5-hole, and again, Dylan Ward with a big save. And the outlet to Greg Downing at center.
Both teams really trying to push the pace here on their transition from defense to offense.
Far side, Adams. They're really trying to find some time and room for him to use his speed. Now McLaughlin had Wardle inside, couldn't get to it. McLaughlin shoots far side, shoots and scores! Great shot from Eli McLaughlin, his second of the year, or the night, sorry. Dan McCray might be pleading to his coaching staff to throw the flag here, but McLaughlin gets underneath, takes the shot, and Wardle tiptoeing the line. That was posted in, and McLaughlin has 2 straight, and it's 3-2 Colorado.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be an issue with Chris Wardle being in the crease there, but again, it's a testament to them moving the ball, and Eli McLaughlin, kind of a pick off the swing, I like to call it, where the ball swang from side to side, and there was an up pick, and Eli just took it underneath and got a lucky bounce behind Christian Del Bianco.
Burton wins the draw. Dobie shoots again, tries to go low. Ward makes the save, and he stands tall between the pipes. The man is third of the night. Eli McLaughlin is second assist to Adams and Keel. 7-10 time of the goal. And Mammoth up a quick 3-0. Here's Crawford, one-on-one with McCray. Skips it to Wardle. Goes far side, Rouet. Keogh, swim move on Harnett. Now he gets the ball dislodged. And it gets bounced all the way up the floor to Curtis Manning. Outside shot, saved there by Dylan Ward. Ball pops loose and picked up by Digby.
It sounds like the Calgary bench was looking for a too many men call there on that change. Dobie flew off the bench and looked like a Colorado player might have went early. I'm sure the Calgary Roughnecks staff are going to let the referees know about that.
Near side, Dixon gives off to Digby. Shatler, near side, Dixon trying to go one-on-one. Here comes a double team, nice slide, help. That ball's going to get thrown up and into the Colorado Mammoth bench. Great slide there by Ilya Gaich to force the unforced turnover from Dixon. Here's Eli McLaughlin, one-on-one with his defender. Skips it to Keogh. Now Crawford on an isolation for that. Adams shoots, bouncer, 5-hole, 4-0 Colorado. We were just talking about the Mammoth trying to get some isolation for Adams. And he goes one-on-one with his defender and just absolutely torches his man. And goes 5-hole bouncer pass.
Yeah,
Del Bianco.
Sorry, Teddy, that's great footwork there by Adams. He set himself up there, had his hands up and away the entire time, and came around with speed. This kid has great footwork. I was talking to Dan Carey, the director of player personnel for the Mammoth, and they're really impressed with what this guy brings to this Mammoth squad, and it's great to see him get this Mammoth team going here in the first quarter.
He had 3 goals in his first game in Vancouver, including the overtime winner. Then we have the quote-unquote Canadian injury timeout for the Mammoth here. As one of their players goes down with an injury that was torn rhinehole, but he looks to be okay. Just trying to slow the momentum down a bit. But that's Adams' 6th of the year assists to Callum Crawford and Eli McLaughlin. Time of the goal, 8:57. Mammoth 4 goals on 7 shots for 57% shooting in the opening 8 or 9 minutes here of this game. That pass from Del Bianco goes out of play.
Yeah, that was not a good pass there by Del Bianco. There's really no Roughneck player open the vicinity there. Maybe the rookie nerves are starting to show a little bit.
I had a quick look over the Mammoth for the Roughneck bench to see if Kurt Malosky was going to look to Chiliano. No go. And he's going to ride Del Bianco for a little longer to see if the youngster can't settle down. Here goes Carnegie the other way. Scott Carnegie gives off to Wesley Berg. Carnegie will stay in play. Berg comes around a pick, takes the shot, trying to go 5-hole and more with another save. Long outlet pass down the floor to Capito, and it just out of the reach of the speedster. And Del Bianco will give off to Tyler Burt. He gets across center, finds an outlet, Dane Dover. Shot. Berg, he'll get a pick from Digby. He'll work the 2-man game on the repick. Berg skips it across to Dobie, low to low. That hit Dan Coates. It never made it on net. Now here's Digby, 8 on the shot clock. Bouncer. Oh, and Ward had to be quick to make that save with the right arm, keep it aside. And another big save for the Mammoth goaltender. And here comes the offense.
Johnny, you always talk about that tough, it's really tough to stop the cross floor, kind of quick stick. Jeff Shatler's always in that spot. Why is it so difficult is it for a defense to cover?
Well, you're not seeing the ball as it arrives to the offensive player. So you're engaged visually with your defender, and he's got to stick up, and the ball comes and arrives, and you don't know when it's coming. Much like a defensive back in football, you're kind of watching that wide receiver's eyes, and hopefully you can get your stick up and knock that shot down.
Pass from Keel was knocked down, picked up by Calgary.
Jamie, at what point here, the Calgary Roughnecks have been shooting low virtually every shot here. At what point will that adjustment be made to see if they can start shooting maybe high to get some better looks?
There was a high shot in close.
Yeah, I think you definitely have to change up your shots here, but Wardo's at the top of his crease. He's really seeing the ball well. There's been a couple down low shots that he's just getting that stick down, and yeah, I think you're right, John. You got to change it up at some point and mix it up, especially on a goaltender like Dylan Ward.
Great pressure from Creighton Reed and Cam Holding to dislodge the ball from Curtis Dixon. As we're under 4 minutes to play here in the first quarter from the Pepsi Center. Thanks for joining us live on Altitude. Here's Adam, outside shot. That one goes wide and goes into the crowd. And we will take a break. 3:41 remaining. 4-0 is your score. Colorado leads over the Roughnecks on the Loud House.
He's got Digby on the take, scores!
Now back over to Dane Smith with a shot. Hit the goal post inside, he scores!
Afraid you might miss out on the big stories from your favorite team? Well, not to fear, the NLL newsletter is here. All you have to do is subscribe to the new NLL newsletter, and you'll get weekly updates from everything that is happening around the league. What are you waiting for? Subscribe today.
Points, and he's in on all 4 goals, and he's actually tied a career high, 1 point away from setting career highs in points, goals, assists. The young man has just really broken out this season for Colorado.
Yeah, and it's great to see. He was a high draft pick a few years ago there, and the Mammoth have invested in him, and he's stepped up. In the absence of Zach Greer and John Grant Jr. on that left side, he's been the go-to guy on that side of the floor. So hats off to Eli McLaughlin, and keep shooting, kid.
Keep shooting is right. A couple weekends I interviewed him after the game. He said the motto is shoot till you're hot, shoot till you're not, as Calgary's going to pull the goalie sneak and go 6-on-5, see if they can't catch Colorado napping. Doby shoots, saved there by Ward. And Calgary quickly gets a man off the floor to get Del Bianco back on the floor.
Well, Johnny, there's your high shot there from Dane Doby you were looking for. But again, Dylan Ward, in his 6'5" frame, he just comes to the top of the crease, saw the whole play develop, and it looks like it's maybe hip high there, but still very difficult for the Roughnecks if they're going to be shooting from the outside to get it past Dylan Ward. They got to get to the middle of the floor.
Here's Crawford, comes around the top, takes the shot, nice save there from Del Bianco, who was out early to challenge. Long outlet pass, Garrett McIntosh in a low shoot, top corner, scores.
Well, there's your high shot in the middle of the floor. If you can't get there 5-on-5, Calgary was preaching there during that timeout. Let's pick up the pace of the game here and get some transition opportunities, and that's what they exactly got in that possession.
Dylan Ward dropped to a knee as Garrett McIntosh goes high to high to beat Ward. His second goal of the year, the first of the night for Calgary. It's 4-1 as Del Bianco gets his first point in the National Lacrosse League. Time to goal 12:07. Bobby Snyder and Dan Coates facing off. Coates wins it, ball pops up in the air. Who's gonna find the hot handle? His body's battling right along the Mammoth restraining line. And it's finally gonna be picked up there by Carnegie. He's gonna bounce it to Schattler. Schattler, quick sticks to Snyder, and he can't handle the pass. It's picked up there by the Colorado Mammoth defense and can't hold it.
Jamie, do you think that's with Schattler's last pass there, when you see a goalie who's hot and he's stopping a lot of shots, Schattler looked like he was right in the middle of the floor and probably should have taken that shot.
Inside, he shoots and scores! Jake Drouet, a perfect pick and roll two-man game with Callum Crawford, and it's 5-1.
Great patience there by the Colorado Mammoth again. Just the speed of this Mammoth offense and the unselfishness is showing, you know, and basically, yeah, like you said, perfect pick and roll there, and great hands, great patience. These guys are very calm today, coming across the crease, and this is the difference right now between these two teams. The Mammoth are getting to the middle of the floor, and getting right on top of Christian Del Bianco, and really has no chance on some of those shots.
Del Bianco replaced by Chiliano as Rouet scores his 11th of the year. A delayed penalty coming up here to Calgary as Capito continues to move his feet and have a loose ball. Geich trying to find an open Brent Adams, but he's going to hold it as the Mammoth goes 6-on-5. Rouet from Crawford and Wardle at 12:46.
They're going to get Bell here for a hold. Had his glove right around the throat of the Colorado Mammoth player right here at the bench.
5 on the shot clock. McLaughlin can't handle it. See if they can't get a late shot off, and they're unable to, so the Mammoth will head to their first power play of the evening with 1:40 remaining. Colorado power play, third in the NLL at 59%, going up against the number 2 short-handed unit from Calgary, who's at 49%.
Yeah, I think it's always team's advantage when they're playing so confident right now. 5 goals here already in the first quarter for the Mammoth, and be able to go up on the power play. These offensive guys love being on the power play, so look for the Mammoth to, you know, maybe go to a go-to play, or maybe Coach Gill will just let them move the ball in a little freestyle, but they're going to have some fun here.
There you see Frankie Chiliano, who's in between the pipes. 3-3, 11.74 goals against average with a .748 save percentage. Here's Crawford to McLaughlin. One-time feed to Rouet. He can't handle the hot pass. Crawford picks up the rebound. 10 on the shot clock. Crawford. Pump fake. He'll shoot, just missed on the far side. 5 on the shot clock. Keogh. Got to get a ball on net. Keogh will save there, and it skips loose. And a nice one-handed pickup there by Manning. It gets laid out by Stephen Keogh. Here goes Dan McCray. McCray shoots. They save there by Dylan Ward. The pass goes over. Manning still slow to get up. Downing. And look at Molosky all over Johnny Gallant, yelling at the ref and Keogh. You fucking And we apologize for Kurt Molosky's language between the benches. Fucking dirty fuck. As Keogh laid the shoulder into Manning as he outlet the pass. It didn't look like there was a delayed penalty being called. Here's the pass. And Keogh lays the shoulder right in to the chest of Manning.
Yeah, Teddy, you know, we're used to seeing these plays with these two teams, and you know, unfortunately for the Roughnecks, you know, it's been their players on either end. I actually remember playing a game a bunch of years ago, and Gavin Prout had a similar hit on Sean Cable, and
one of the biggest hits in the
yeah,
NLL.
and obviously the bouquet hit last year, but you know, hopefully Curtis Manning is okay. It looked like one of those plays where he's kind of defenseless because he didn't see Stephen Keogh coming, and couldn't really tell if it was a high hit, but definitely laid his shoulder into him, some part of his body. Let's hope he's okay.
Manning does look to be okay, sitting on the Mammoth bench. Kurt Molosky is laying into his team right now. The Mammoth still in the power play, 40 seconds remaining in the period. Mammoth lead 5-1. Wardle, McLaughlin back down to Wardle. Keogh playing shadow in the middle. Up top. One-time feed and Wardle rang it off the post. A great set play there by Colorado. And we were talking pregame, you'd like to see them run some set plays. There's one for you, James. 20 seconds remaining in the quarter. Crawford. John Harnett gives a couple chops to Keogh, who's floating in the middle. They pay a little bit of extra attention to him. Crawford, outside shot, save. Keogh goes between the legs and goes up and out of bounds. 6 on the game clock.
It's a good idea. I think it just bounced off his foot there, but good idea with just a couple seconds.
McCray to Doby, and it goes into the netting, and that's the way the first quarter ended. An absolutely action-packed quarter. 5-1 your score. Mammoth lead it over Calgary back. Second quarter coming up live here on Altitude.
Pro lacrosse teams are now fielded in Philadelphia, Boston, New York, Maryland, Montreal, and Quebec.
Yesterday there was friendly competition and not so friendly competition. We knew our true colors weren't just worn on our backs, they were painted on our faces and hoisted as high in the air as we could possibly carry them. Whatever it took to claim our turf. Yesterday, we left it all out there. Blood, sweat, tears. You name it, we left it. We kept ourselves focused and we kept each other in check. And the only thing we took were epic shots. Yesterday, we saw more twists and turns in 8 seconds than most people saw in an entire season. We lost the ball, lost our minds. We lost count countless times in every game. If you could see the ball, that was a slow day. Yesterday, physics didn't apply to us. Gravity wasn't welcome in our box. Armed with just a stick and a ball, we took flight. Yesterday, we were the best we could be. Today is our day.
He's got Digby on the take, scores!
Now back over to Dane Smith with a shot. Hit the goal post inside, he scores!
Afraid you might miss out on the big stories from your favorite team? Well, not to fear, the NLL newsletter is here. All you have to do is subscribe to the new NLL newsletter, and you'll get weekly updates from everything that is happening around the league. What are you waiting for? Subscribe today.
He's got Digby.
Getting set for second quarter action. Colorado leading Calgary 5-1. Brace yourself for the loudest house in lacrosse. Mammoth fans, don't miss your shot to cheer on your Colorado Mammoths as they take on the Vancouver South Sunday, March 12th at 7 p.m. Visit coloradomammoth.com for details. As that quarter ended, the Mammoth got caught with too many men on the floor, so that will negate the final 20 seconds on the penalty to Tyson Bell. So we'll have 20 seconds of 4-on-4 lacrosse. Bryce Sweeting comes over to serve the too many men call. And off the play, procedure called on Tyler Burton will be Colorado ball.
Forward for you here, Jamie. What do you look from an offensive perspective when you got some extra room on the floor?
Well, I think with the limited time left in the penalty and Tyson Bell coming out of the box, I wouldn't go to the net. I'd kind of want to kill the whole thing or go early, but as you see now, there's Tyson Bell coming off the bench. So I would have played it safe, but that wasn't what happened.
Here is Bell out of the box, shoots and scores! And the offensive coaches of Chris Gill and Dan Stroop talking to Callum Crawford, and you guys are right. No need to force that play as Bell gets his first of the night, and it's 5-2.
That was a good heads-up play there by Bell. He came hard out of the penalty box. Saw, I can't remember which righty there was winding up for the Mammoth, and got the ball free there and just ended up going the other way, and the Mammoth were slow to change, and that's a good shot. I like this kid, Tyson Bell. He runs the floor very well, and I think he really likes to score.
Snyder and Coates at the draw. Coates wins it all the way back to his own line, picked up there by Downing. Downing shoots, saved there by Frankie Chiliano. And bodies collide along the far side boards, ball's loose. And it's picked up there by Carnigan. Delayed penalty coming up here to the captain of the Mammoth, Dan Coates. And this is what Colorado can't afford to do, guys. Give Calgary a little bit of momentum to start this second quarter and allow themselves to get in this game. Here's Dixon. Calgary 6-on-5 with Chiliano on the bench. Berg. Doby, twister 5-hole save there. Loose ball picked up there by Shatler. Reset to 30. Still 6-on-5. Doby. Dixon. One-time feed kick save there by Dylan Ward. And Capito wisely just kicks it back to his goaltender. And we'll get a stop to play as Coates will make his way into the box. And the power play goal
Colorado
by
penalty, 2
Bell
minutes holding.
made them 1-for-1 on the power play. So this is technically their second opportunity with the man advantage. They're the 7th best power play in the National Lacrosse League at 51.2%. The holding call comes at 124 to Coates. The good thing for the Mammoth short man unit, they're one of the top teams in the league shorthand with 7 shorthanded goals. Inside feed, what a save from Dylan Ward to deny Dixon. And that'll be a handball called on holding. Give possession back to the Calgary Roughnecks. 13-13 remaining here in the first half. Shatler, Doby, Dixon up top. Down to Shatler, inside feed, pump fake, and he tries to go high, goes off Ward and out of bounds. Digby had Ward on his toes, but couldn't put it low.
Yeah, Digby's so hard to contain when he just kind of floats there on the crease. He can kind of throw it in anywhere near his stick, and he's going to catch it. And he's got excellent hands. We saw that last game here at the Pepsi Center.
Nice pick off there by Hope. Long outlet pass to Capito. And Capito battling for it, trying to pick up a loose ball, at least kill some time on the penalty. But it's scooped up there by Tyson Bell. 57 seconds remaining on the penalty to Coates. Here's Dane Doby. A couple times the pass from Dixon to Shatler has opened up the one-timer. Shatler unable to beat Dylan Ward, but a pass to look out for this Mammoth short man unit. Berg back to Dixon. Doby shoots and scores. This is what we talked about. Can't allow Calgary to gain momentum as Dane Doby gets his 18th of the year, and what was a 5-1 lead to start the quarter is now 5-3.
Yeah, when you give the Roughnecks power play that many opportunities, they had the ball pretty much the entire possession here. They're going to get their looks. Again, we talked about Dylan Ward coming really high out on top of his crease to stop these outside shots. Now he's sinking twice because they have thrown a couple backdoor passes, and Dane Doby took advantage of and just buried one far side. It's an excellent shot. We've seen that before from number 44.
Snyder and Coates. This time Coates gets called for jumping the whistle to be Calgary possession. Shot 17-11 in favor of Calgary, but they trail by 2. Doby from Dixon and Berg at 2:44. Here's Riley Lowen, comes around the top, takes a shot, just missed, loose ball picked up. They could have an outlet break here down the floor, but Creighton Reed couldn't handle the outlet pass cleanly, but they still have numbers 4-on-3. Reed into the corner to Wardle. Doesn't force it to Haywire as Garrett McIntosh was backtracking. Here comes Wardle around the top. Gets a pick there from McLaughlin. Gives near side Crawford. Crawford flips it back to Rouet. He pump fake, shoots, saved by Chiliano. Loose ball, Rouet shoots another nice save there from Frank Chiliano. And here comes Tyson Bell. Outlets Dixon, 2-on-1. Dixon, swim move, slide help, takes the shot, saved there by Ward. Long outlet pass. This should be a penalty as Ward gets knocked down inside his own crease, but no call. Sounds like Ryan Fowler, the trail referee, said it was just Dylan Ward's own teammate that collided into him. Geich will leave for Brent Adams.
Unfortunately there for Dylan going down, he had Joey Capito wide open on a breakaway. Just couldn't get him the ball.
McLaughlin, pump fake, takes shot, shoots, and scores! When you are hot, you keep shooting, and Eli McLaughlin has the hat trick, and it's 6-3.
I gotta say, that goal, the patience and just the savvy, kind of reminds me of John Grant Jr. Obviously, his team's missing him, but you know, maybe a few years now playing with John Grant Jr., Eli's picking up some pointers, and this nice little hesitation here, shoot around far side. That's a great goal by Eli, and he continues his hot streak.
18th of the season for Eli McLaughlin, and now he has a career high in points, assists, and goals. And here come the Mammoth the other way. Holding. And this is what Colorado needs to do after that 2-goal run by Calgary. Get a goal, stop the bleeding, get this crowd back into things, and see if they can't regain the momentum. McLaughlin, his 5th point of the night, assist to Haywires and Adams. Inside feed to away, nice save there by Giuliano. Long outlet feed to the bench, overshoots Tyler Digby, but he's able to scamper onto that loose ball. And now Digby try to isolate on Capito. Lowen, inside feed, nice job by Ilya Gaich to knock down the stick of Digby. Now Berg, he'll shoot over the top, and that one missed wide, and it'll go up and out of play, and it'll be Colorado Mammoth ball when we come back from break. 10 minutes to go in the second quarter. 6-3 is your score, Colorado. Eli McLaughlin with a hot hand. We'll be back with second quarter on Altitude.
Tonight's game is brought to you in part by Sports Interaction, Canada's home for worldwide sports betting. Bet responsibly at sportsinteraction.com. Disclaimer, only residents of Canada may open an account with Sports Interaction. The service is not available to users outside of Canada.
Pepsi Center, where Colorado has a 3-goal lead, 6-3 over the visiting Calgary Roughnecks. The Mammoth experience is better with friends. Bring groups of 10 or more to see your Colorado Mammoth and receive special benefits like discounts, bench and penalty box experiences, field time, and more. Visit coloradomammoth.com for details. Johnny Glon, what's been the difference between the first quarter and second quarter for the Mammoth defense?
I think listening to Dylan Ward there, they've been clearing that middle. So if Dylan was just mentioning his defensive players, allow him to see the stick head, allow him to see the shot, he can stop it. Get out of that shooting lane and he'll be okay.
5-on-5 action. Callum Crawford with it. Haywires, McLaughlin. 1-on-1, McLaughlin gives to Crawford. Back to Eli. Down low, Haywire. He gets a high seal there from Chris Wardle. Pump fake, gets around his check, takes the shot. Nice defensive play there by Carnegie to stop that shot from going on net. Eli McLaughlin, the 4th game this season with at least 5 points in a game, and it's now his 9th game in a row with 3 points or more. Here's Curtis Dixon. Dixon comes around the top, tries to find his man. That pass goes wide. Callum Crawford tried to grab it from Shatler, can't. Late in the shot clock. That one's on net. Dylan Ward makes the save. And he'll quickly outlet to Dan Coates. Crawford, one-on-one with Tyson Bell. He's going to slow up. Tricky twister there from Jeff Shatler. Haywire. So that was Wardle. Now it's Haywire. Skip feed, Crawford, pump fake, shoots and scores! 15th of the year for the point leader for the Mammoth, Callum Crawford, and it's back to a 4-goal lead.
Yeah, now it's 2 shifts in a row there, number 71 and 17, kind of getting them mixed up a little bit, but Haywires and Wardle doing all the work and kind of creating, kind of lulling this Roughneck defense, and a nice little pump fake there, pulls Chiliano out, and Crawford just reached around his defender, and that's great patience and great savvy to bury that goal.
You saw it, as JB mentioned, that little pump fake, and Chiliano came high up onto his tippy toes, and Crawford was able to put it low underneath the glove. As Crawford continues to be the leader on the offensive side of the ball, that's his 4th point of the night. Give assists to both Wardle and Haywires. They each have 2 assists. Time for the goal, 6:23. Here comes Calgary. For Reinhold. He skips it far side to Dixon, down low. Digby. Digby comes around the top, puts it back down on the stick of Dixon. 8 on the shot clock. Dixon pump fake, inside shoot. Nice save there from Dylan Ward. Reset the 30. Mammoth bench wanted a moving pick. None coming. Reset the 30. Digby. Riley Lowen. Lowen comes around the top. He looks to shoot and will score. Nice job by Riley Lowen to keep going across the top. Caught Dylan Ward moving side to side. And it's 7-4.
Teddy, you mentioned that potential moving pick there on Greg Downey. You can tell that shift. The Roughnecks offense is getting a lot more physical. They're cutting the middle. They're slashing a little bit back, and maybe they're getting under the skin of this Mammoth defense. But that's a great shot coming over the top of the screen. And I know, John, you look like you had a pretty good view there. Did Dylan Ward just really not get eyes on that one, like you mentioned?
I think he lost a little bit of track of where he was in the net. I think he slid a little bit too hard to his right there, trying to look around the screen, and that shot went back across his body, which is very difficult for a goaltender to defend there.
Lowen from Digby, that's 7:05. It's back to a 3-goal lead. Burton has the ball off of the draw. McCray will give off to Dixon. 7:40 remaining here in the second quarter.
I tell you what, guys, the level of communication between teams has really picked up since that big hit.
Inside feed, Digby shoots and he scores! That was what Tyler Digby did so well when Calgary was here last month. Cut the middle, get the ball and shoot low to low. And he beats Dylan Ward, and that's just a great ball cut, much like Stephen Keel's goal to open the game.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of room there for Digby, but got his hands free. Coach did everything he possibly could, but it's going to be tough to knock Digby off of his shot, and just snuck it in that little bottom corner there. It looked like it went off Wardle's shin pad there and bounced in the goal. So big goal for the Calgary Roughnecks, brings them back within 2.
2 goals in 27 seconds for Calgary. Digby from Dixon. And number 71, it should be 77, Jeff Shatler. Makes it a 2-goal game with 7:20 remaining.
Hey, Jamie, you can hear Pat Coyle, the coach here of the Colorado Mammoth. Anytime Digby steps on the floor, they really want to deny him the ball, prevent him from getting in the middle. But he's such a big frame, it's very hard to do.
Dixon back his man in, shoots far corner, just missed. This ball picked up there by Jordan Gillis. Late trailer here. Geich, pump fake, and then denied by a stick there of Curtis Manning. Good to see Manning back on the floor after that hit from Gio. Sullivan picks up the loose ball, double teamed up at center. Got to watch out for the timeline. Sullivan keeps his feet moving, gets the ball outlet. Crawford wide open. Crawford, pump fake, score! Give all the credit to that goal to Josh Sullivan. What an effort to battle that ball.
Yeah, Teddy, I was on the edge of my seat there, seeing if he was going to get knocked into his own bench. The door was open. Bouquet did a nice job, closing that gate. But yeah, you mentioned it, man. Sullivan, hard-working, gritty defenseman there, gets the ball and gets it out to Callum Crawford. It was a 2-on-0. So Chiliano had to watch on the backside there, and Crawford again, a little fake to the far side, could have faked the shot or the pass and just brought it back short side on Chiliano. That's a big momentum-changing goal here for the Mammoth.
Procedure called on Colorado, Calgary possession. Crawford is second of the night, 5th point. From Creighton Reed and Ilya Gaich. It makes it 8-5. Inside feed, another nice save from Dylan Ward as the action goes back and forth here inside the Loudest House Lacrosse. We're going to call a clamp on Colorado, and it will be Calgary possession.
A nice move by Dane Dobie. He's not the fastest guy, but he shields his stick very well. And Capito was giving the underneath, so Dobie just said, all right, I'll take it, and ended up getting a decent shot on goal.
Here's low and inside feed to Dobie, goes a little bit high.
Power play coming
picked up there by Digby, delayed penalty coming up here. So the Colorado Mammoth, Chiliano to the bench. Late man off the floor, or onto the floor is Shattler, Dixon. Reed jumps in, Berg shoots, that goes off the shoulder of Dylan Ward and out of play. And we'll have another power play opportunity here for Calgary, as it looks like Robert Hope will make his way to the box.
The second
Colorado penalty, 18, 2 minutes hold.
Another call by Robert Hope. Crowd here inside the Pepsi Center not appreciative of that call.
The second penalty in a row here for the Colorado Mammoth that's taken one of their main short man defenders. Let's see if Calgary tries to approach that new position here on the power play.
Calgary 2 for 2 so far on the power play. Dixon, Dobie can't handle the pass. Nice job by Reed to try and pick up that loose ball, picked up though by Shattler. Bird to Dixon, goes low to high, saved there by Ward, ball's loose. Nice job by Dylan Ward to get a stick on that one behind the net as Digby was looking for it. Long outlet pass to Joey Capito, bounces off his stick and out. Now all the way down the floor, Shattler has a man coming off the bench. It's Digby to Shattler, pump fake, shoots and scores. And now some rough stuff after the goal. As Shattler beat Ward, great feed, unselfish feed from Digby to Shattler. And then Shattler fell on top of Dylan Ward.
Yeah, it looks like Dylan Ward thought it'd be a quick stick from Digby to Shattler as he came flying over to protect that side of the goal. And excellent patience by the savvy vet, Jeff Shattler, and holds on the ball and reaches across, and it didn't look like he did anything on purpose to run into Dylan Ward there.
It's a second power play in a row where Colorado Mammoth, as a short man team here, tried to push in transition and create that turnover.
And we have coincidental minors here, called by the official before the play even gets blown in. Shattler from Digby at 9:51 on the power play. Calgary now 3 for 3.
Calgary penalty number 94, Colorado number 8, 2 minutes each, intentional dead ball foul.
Dead ball foul called by Ryan Fowler.
You can see as we talked a little bit earlier, the trash talking is really picked up here. There's extra pushing and shoving after every whistle. I think the referees are going to try to put a clamp on all the extracurricular activities here.
This has been the last time these two teams face each other until playoff possibilities. Is Holding finds a loose ball, tries to dish it into the corner. It's picked up there by Dixon. Dixon, nice check there by Holding. And here comes Robert Hope. Hope pushes it, gives off the coat, tries to bounce it and just missed. And it's picked up there by Crawford. 20 on the shot clock. Keogh, he shoots and just sails it over top. Now here comes Tor Reinhold. Slow numbers in transition. Reinhold looks to push. And he'll give off to Dobie. 4:20 remaining here in the second quarter. Mammoth lead at 8-6. Thanks for joining us live here on Altitude. John Gallant, David Shuchuk, and Teddy Jenner with you. Burt, low to low, saved there by Dylan Ward, who's ball in the corner. Digby has it. He's watched there by Creighton Reed. Near side, Dobie. Down low to Shattler. Thought about going inside to Dobie, gives back to Digby. He gets dislodged, throws it up back to Doby.
Doby really wanted that ball inside.
10 on the shot clock. Doby shoots from his wrong side. Easy save there from Dylan Ward. And he's trying to find an outlet. Now hands it in the stick of Joey Capino. That's one thing Colorado's kind of struggled with in this game, is finding an outlet and being there for Dylan Ward. Now here's Rouet. Far corner, McLaughlin. Watched there by Manning. Gets a pick from Haywire. Tried to float it to Crawford. Look at Frankie Chiliano all the way out of his net. Starting the transition. Here comes John Harnett. Brother Greg serving the 5th of his 5-game suspension. So he'll be eligible to play tomorrow night against Georgia in Calgary if GM Mike Ward sees fit. Here's Dixon. Step back shot. Save there from Dylan Ward. He's going to hold on to that one and get a whistle. We'll take a break. Frantic action inside the Pepsi Center. Shatler makes it an 8-6 game. We'll be back at the end of the first half live here on Altitude. The Pepsi Center, 8-6 Mammoth lead the Roughnecks. The Mammoth party packs are back. Starting at just $68, get 4 tickets and $40 to spend on concessions and retail. Come down to Pepsi Center and brace yourself for the Loud House, home of the Colorado Mammoths. Get your party pack today at coloradomammoth.com. Fantastic crowd here inside the Pepsi Center for 303 Day, celebrating Denver and all things Colorado. And here go the Mammoth, trying to regain a 3-goal lead. Wardle to Adams. Now down low, Crawford. Thought about going inside to Adams. Now Crawford tried to find Keogh. Picks up his own loose ball behind the net. Adams tries to dive, dunk shot, and he kind of got caught between going far side and short side. Chiliano was there to deny the rookie. Here's Dan McCray. Both defenses have really picked up the pace here since the opening quarter. It was 5-1 Colorado. It's now 8-6 in favor of the Mammoth. Here's Digby. Digby trying to find a lane and room. He does, gets inside, shoots. That goes off the face mask of Dylan Ward. Loose ball picked up by Joey Capito. Colorado trying to run here in transition. Capito, inside feed, shot there by Haywire and just missed the short side post. And Rouet can't handle the ball. It goes off the dasher and out of play. Minute 55 remaining. Shatler slowly ignites the offense here for the Roughnecks. Down low, far corner, Wesley Berg. One-on-one with Coates, gets a pick from Dixon. Inside feed, that misses Curtis Dixon, goes right to Tyler Digby. Well, one-time shot there from Shatler, almost caught Dylan Ward off guard. Here goes Josh Sullivan to the race. 4-on-3 if they want it. Sullivan will give off to Keogh. Tricky shot there from Shatler. Shatler. And now here's Keogh. Bulldodges his way to the front of the net. Keogh shoots, trying to go far side. Thought it went off the glove of Chiliano, but it didn't. Goes up and out of play. It'll be Calgary ball.
Mammoth coaches thought it went off the goaltender as well. Not happy with the no reset.
Here's Tor Reinhold. Gives off to Shatler. Will go for a change. Late man on will be Westberg, and he has it now. Berg just Dixon one-on-one with Downing, 10 on the shot clock. Dixon, Shatler, inside feed, Doby around the world, and saved there by Ward. Here goes Joey Capito to Ilya Geist. Geist twister saved there by Chiliano. Probably a good thing, as Colorado wanted a quick shot. Shots on goal this quarter, 21-10 in favor of Calgary. That pass can't connect with Shatler. This ball picked up by McRae. 20 on the shot clock, 25 on the game clock. So Calgary will have to get a shot off before the end of the quarter. And Colorado will hope to have last possession. Sullivan loses his helmet, got to pick up his slid. Now he's going to race off the floor. This could be beneficial for Colorado. And now the officials are going to call double minors. And it'll be interesting to see who they give possession here to, as Sweeting and Shatler are going to head off. And Sweeting goes to the wrong box as he and Shatler exchange words. And the shot clock too.
Calgary penalty, Colorado penalty, 2 each, slash.
So Shatler and Sweeting each get 2 for slashing. Sweeting lost his footing, lost his helmet. He was smart not to engage himself in the play and race off the floor. And we're going to see who the officials give possession to. The shot clock was going right as the official called the double minor, and they're going to say it's Colorado ball.
Yeah, it's the second coincidentals that we've seen this game, Teddy, and you know I think that shows that the refs are trying to keep control of the game. They know these teams do not like each other.
Dylan Ward to the bench, so the Mammoth will go 6 on 5 with the extra tackle. Crawford sprints across center. Keogh. McLaughlin diagonal feed to the Adams, sorry, to Crawford, doesn't connect, and that's the way the first half is gonna end. The Mammoth had a 6-goal lead. It's a 2-goal lead. We're halfway through. 8-6 Colorado over Calgary. Back with halftime analysis on Altitude after this.
Pro lacrosse teams are now fielded in Philadelphia, Boston, New York, Maryland, Montreal, and Quebec.
Yesterday there was friendly competition and not so friendly competition. We knew our true colors weren't just worn on our backs, they were painted on our faces and hoisted as high in the air as we could possibly carry them. Whatever it took to claim our turf. Yesterday, we left it all out there. Blood, sweat, tears. You name it, we left it. We kept ourselves focused and we kept each other in check. And the only thing we took were epic shots. Yesterday, we saw more twists and turns in 8 seconds than most people saw in an entire season. We lost the ball, lost our minds. We lost countless times in every game. If you could see the ball, that was a slow day. Yesterday, physics didn't apply to us. Gravity wasn't welcome in our box. Armed with just a stick and a ball, we took flight. Yesterday, we were the best we could be. Today is our day.
Calgary Roughnecks are back to rock the Roughhouse on Saturday, March 4th as they take on the Georgia Swarm at 7 p.m. for our Western Party, presented by Lamley's Western Wear and Tag. Dust off those cowboy boots and hats and enjoy halftime and post-game performances by 2016 ACMA nominee and Project Wild finalist, Calgary's own Cole Bradley. You don't want to miss this fast-paced, hard-hitting lacrosse action. Get your tickets today at CalgaryRoughnecks.com. Calgary Roughnecks, come to the party, stay for the game.
When a game is more than just a game and means more than winning. When you can feel hard hits and smooth moves. When you watch sparks fly and wheels turn. You know it's more than just a game. You better brace yourself for the loudest house in lacrosse.
For the 5th year in a row, the National Lacrosse League has partnered with Right to Play to bring lacrosse programs to Aboriginal youth across Canada. We had a chance to speak with New England Black Wolves' Sean Evans at one of these programs to find out what it means to him to bring the sport he loves to these various communities. This marks Sean Evans' 4th year taking part in Right to Play, a global organization that uses the power of play to educate and empower children facing adversity.
It's something special, you know, what they do, and you know, the dedication that you know, they provide to these communities, and have athletes like myself coming and teach and see the looks on the kids' faces is unbelievable.
On this given day, the New England Black Wolves star, along with other members of the NLL community, were teaching kids the basic skills of lacrosse, but skills he believes will help them not just when it comes to improving their game on the floor.
It's something rewarding to me, and rewarding to, I know, a couple other guys here that are here this week, to see at the end of the week them enjoy the game of lacrosse and them actually take a little bit from what we talk about and what we say and actually use it to their benefit of, you know, life skills, or you know, skills that are on the floor and skills that are off the floor.
The program has been created in hopes of empowering children and youth to develop lacrosse skills, but also life skills such as leadership and sportsmanship.
What these kids learn at the end of the week and stays with them to, you know, build them as better people growing up, and to continue to build their communities into a community that you know, works together.
Since the NLL and Right to Play partnered in 2012, the program has reached over 1,600 First Nation children and youth, with over 19 players from the NLL participating. And according to Evans, this is an incredible feeling to get back to the community in this way.
At the very beginning, when you start the week off, it's, you know, I don't know how to play, I don't know how to do this. And, you know what, just after about 40-45 minutes of learning the skills of, you know, trapping and scooping, passing and catching, you know, they're amazed of what they can do with the stick, with the ball, and, you know, the stick skills just develop. And, you know, to see that reaction coming from their face, the smiling, the having fun, you know, that's a huge part of coming out and doing this in the communities, is seeing them having fun and enjoying themselves.
For NLL Productions, I'm Mia Gordon.
It's not often that you see two 40-goal scorers swap for one another in the National Lacrosse League, but when a deal happens like the one that sent Zach Greer to the Colorado Mammoth in exchange for Adam Jones, it certainly gets people talking. The change of scenery may have come as a surprise to Greer, who moves from one thriving box lacrosse market to the next, but the multidimensional forward appears to be embracing life and lacrosse in the Mile High City.
Greer, pump fake, shoot, scores, top corner. Greer shoots and scores. Now we're getting the run here for the Mammoth. Zach Greer one-on-one with Frankie Scigliano. Greer shoots and scores.
It's been awesome. It's been great. I was welcomed with open arms in the off-season there, and a little bit of a transition, obviously, just getting used to the new environment, new players, chemistry, coaching staff, all that good stuff. But it's always going to be a work in progress, and we're trying to peak at the right time here. But at the same time, it's going pretty well so far.
That transition to playing with the Colorado Mammoth seemed effortless for Greer. In his debut with the team during face-off weekend, he recorded a hat-trick and added another 3 assists in a win over the Buffalo Bandits. While the Mammoth have been pleased with Greer's offensive production during the first half of the 2017 NLL season, they feel the impact that he has had with his team stretches beyond the score sheet and will be felt amongst teammates for years to come.
Zach Greer is the guy that you want to be able to point to and say, I want you to be more like him. Especially for younger guys coming into this league and on this team, he sets a great example. He works hard, he does the right thing, and you know that you're going to rely on him. If he doesn't score 2 or 3 or 4 goals, then you know he's doing a lot of different things to help the team win that fans might not see, but coaching staff, teammates, executive staff, everybody sees that.
Obviously, it's tough losing a talent like Adam Jones. Not only is he a phenomenal, one-of-a-kind, just gifted athlete, lacrosse player, he's an incredible guy, incredible teammate. And but you have a guy like Greer, he comes in, and not saying anything against Jonesy, but they're just 2 different players, you know what I mean? Zach Greer, he comes in here and you could just tell he's the first practice, he's the hardest working player on the floor, you know what I mean? With a guy that has the accolades that he does, it's not that he's just taking it for granted. He comes out there, he wants to build a name here, and he wants to make the team better. He'll do anything that's going to make the team better, and it's an honor to play with somebody like that.
John Grant Jr., an 18-year NLL vet, maybe 12 years older than Greer, but even he didn't hesitate to admit that Greer has served him as a teacher of sorts.
To learn from a guy who's younger, sometimes you get older, you think you know everything, but, he's been awesome to help me out, even the young guys, and, and he's putting the ball in the net, he's playing extremely well, he never stops working. I mean, a tremendous leader, the guy's won at every level, the guy's won, and, he's literally like another coach out there, but he can still score goals and he sets picks, he does just everything.
A product of both the Whitby Warriors and Duke Lacrosse systems, there's no doubt that Greer knows what it takes to win. He's won back-to-back Champions Cups with the Rush organization. So when you ask him if he feels like the Mammoth have the instruments to win a championship, well, you've got to listen.
We've got a lot of different pieces that it takes to win, and obviously, like I said, peaking at the right time is part of it. But we've got a great system in place. We've got goaltending, a great defense back there, which is obviously important when it comes to playoff time, even more so than the regular season. And that's going to be something that helps us get it done. And obviously, offense is still working hard to kind of figure out our way and figure out our chemistry a little bit. But it's early, and we're just trying to get better every time out.
For NLL Productions, I'm Tyson Geik. Time now for my box bosses, and these picks were actually pretty easy for me this week. I think there was 3 players that really stepped up and were very big parts of their team's wins. So let's start off at number 3 with Mark Matthews of the Saskatchewan Rush. Matthews is currently 3rd in league scoring. He's always a threat on offense. Known for his swim move, he can gain the middle of the floor and make the other team pay. But what he's really impressed me with this season has been his ability to feed the ball. He's got great lacrosse IQ and always gets the ball to his teammates at the right time. He's a big part of that offensive unit. At number 2, Rochester Nighthawks, Josh Courier, the rookie, 3 goals, 1 assist this past weekend in his team's win over the Vancouver Stealth. Courier is a rookie that's leading the way for the Nighthawks, currently tied for the team league in points. He's got 15 goals and 15 assists for 30 points on the season now. The Nighthawks' future, let me tell you, is bright with this guy on offense. He was a big part of that win in Week 9. And at number 1, I've got Mitch Jones of the Buffalo Bandits, 4 goals, 1 assist against the Toronto Rock. He's my number 1 box boss of the week. I've really liked the way that this guy's been playing all season long. He didn't really disappoint this past weekend against the Rock. He's got the Bandits on the board first with an amazing goal that he scored while lying face down. Spoiler alert, it's going to be in versus. I think the Bandits want to be successful. They have to continue to see strong play from a guy like Mitch Jones. Just a great effort.
Welcome, lacrosse fans. Tyson Geik of NLL Productions here with you right now, and I'm joined by Shay Hewen, CEO and founder of the U-Hawk Camera. We have some exciting news for you today. The NLL has officially partnered with the U-Hawk Camera, the new official action camera of the National Lacrosse League. Shay, an exciting moment, for both parties here.
Yeah, it's an incredible day. It's a big step and a big moment in the history of sports. And for the National Lacrosse League to be the first league to step up and bring actual player point of view, video footage to fans at home in the actual real raw competition in the season, it's a monumental day, and we're very excited to be the official camera provider to be a part of that.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of the NLL Social Circle, where we take a look at some of the big stories happening across the league on social media this week. And we actually start off this episode with some big news coming from the NLL this week. That is right, the league announced on social media that season ticket memberships for 2017 have grown by double digits this year. And fans were responding to this. Wes Dorkson says that he and his wife don't agree on much when it comes to sports, but they both love the NLL. Yeehaw! It's not just a party in Calgary this week, it is actually a Western party. That is right, Calgary's very own Cole Bradley will be performing at this week's game, and fans seem to be pretty pumped up about this. So make sure you got your boots on, because I'm sure there'll be plenty of dancing. Take a look at this adorable video. Chris Corbiel, Aaron Bold, and of course Bruiser the Bulldog visited some kids at Children's Hospital of Saskatchewan this week. And sticking with the Rush, well, there was some horseplaying going on this week. Take a look at this picture posted by fan Cody Stranger. Even Grandma Rush getting involved. A big achievement unlocked in Vancouver this week. That's right, Ian Hawkesby earned his 1,000th career loose ball. Congratulations. And the competition is really heating up in Colorado between two teammates, actually. Fans have had all week to choose if they're going to be Team Noble or Team Geich. Take a look at these videos that the players posted.
I'm with Ilya. I'm with Ilya. No. This is Team Noble territory. I just love Colorado. Such a nice city, beautiful weather, beautiful people. I just don't get it. Anyways, you can go skiing, you can go snowboarding, you can go hiking.
Say no to Team Noble!
What's wrong with these people? Anyways, it's just such a lovely place and great people.
Fans will actually get a t-shirt of whichever team they chose to be on at this week's Mammoth game. Can't wait to see who comes out on top of this competition. Fans, that wraps up this week's episode of the NLL Social Circle. If you want a chance to be featured here, well, all you gotta do is make sure you are tagging the NLL in all of your social media posts. For NLL Productions, I'm Mia Gordon.
The National Lacrosse League logo honors its over 30 years of history, but also pushes towards a new era, a new day. An updated colorway of black and silver illuminates the way forward, with technology and innovation as our mandate. The shield captures the warrior spirit of the physical battle of sport while being modern enough to appeal to new audiences. The goal. By extruding the shape of the shield, the container is one that is a nod to the ubiquitous shape of a lacrosse goal. The original four arrows representing the founding of our league with 4 professional box lacrosse teams. Washington, D.C., Baltimore, New Jersey, Philadelphia, converge to create the NLL star, a modern interpretation of a star that combines both the arrows of the original 4 teams and a Native American morning star. The 4 arrows converge to create the heart of the star representing the current teams and the fans who are the beacon of the future of the National Lacrosse League. This is the National Lacrosse League. Today is our day.
That got the team fired up, and great to see them get a win in the win column.
Bob Snyder, Dan Coates getting set at center as we are getting set for second half action. Tonight's second half faceoff is being brought to you by Ford. Coates wins it, goes right to Greg Downing, and he gets across center and gives it off to Cam Holding. A great start for the Mammoth as the offense gets onto the floor, and the aforementioned Callum Crawford gives to Brent Adams. One-on-one with John Harnett. Adams gets underneath, and a nice recovery check there from John Harnett as he denies the speedy Adams from getting underneath 3. John Gallant, Jamie Shuchuk, and Teddy Jenner with you. We'll check in with Gallant between the benches in a minute as here's Curtis Dixon backing his man in. Dixon finds Berg up top, skips it far side, Dane Doby. Doby comes around the pick, goes back down to Lowitt. Stutter step, shoot, save there from Dylan Ward. Loose ball in the corner, picked up by Digby. Reset to 30, and here's Curtis Dixon. Dixon to Berg, one-on-one, tries to get underneath Robert Hope. Nice help there from Ilya Gaich. Inside shot from Berg, and another great save from Dylan Ward. Loose ball picked up by Sullivan. Johnny, thoughts coming into the second half. What do the Mammoth need to do to keep this pressure on the Calgary offense and defense?
Well, I think it's the ball movement, getting the ball moving east to west. I think they had a lot of success with that in the first half, and I think they let up off the gas pedal a little bit, let Calgary back in the game, so they want to keep the momentum going for the entire 30 minutes of the second half.
Frank Chiliano still between the pipes for Calgary. Looked like he'll go the distance. Here comes Mike Carnegie sprinting across center. Carnegie to McIntosh, who had the Roughnecks opening goal of the game on a transition long bomb from Del Bianco. Here's Berg. Del Bianco only lasted 12 minutes and 46 seconds, gave up 5 goals on 9 shots before Chiliano replaced him in between the pipes. Doby, he tries to find an angle. They're going to call crease violation. And that'll be a no-goal call for the Calgary sharpshooter. Here comes Downing.
Nice little effort there. You can clearly see the left foot of Dane Doby touches the black crease there and right on top of Dylan Ward.
Outside shot from Haywire is easily handled by Chiliano. Long outlet pass to Bob Snyder. Snyder shoots and scores! A quick strike from the Calgary Roughnecks as Bob Snyder gets his first of the year and a long outlet pass from Chiliano, and probably an ill-advised shot from the rookie Zach Haywire.
Yeah, I'm sure that was a little confidence booster for Bobby Snyder. Typically you only see him on the floor taking face-offs, playing some defense. So to get one in his old team, I'm sure that's going to get him and the boys fired up on that Roughnecks bench.
Snyder from Chiliano at 2:18 makes it a 1-goal game. It hasn't been this close since it was 1-0. Ball loose, batted back into the Mammoth zone. There's Creighton Reed to pick it up, and he'll be able to get it across center. In the Colorado offense, full step back out on the floor with Chris Ward. One-on-one against the captain, Mike Carnegie. Far corner, Callum Crawford, watched there by Dan McCray. Inside feed, Rouet, time and room, but can't beat Chiliano as he was past the angle. And a nice save there by the Roughneck goaltender. Here comes McCray. McCray weaving through the Mammoth defense. Carnegie open all alone. Huge save there from Dylan Ward to deny Scott Carnegie. Delayed penalty coming up here on Calgary. As Sullivan took a stick up high in the face mask. Ward to the bench, and Colorado will go 6-on-5 and try to get one back and regain the 2-goal lead. 15 on the shot clock. Crawford trying to direct traffic. Pump fake, Gives off to McLaughlin. Gets inside. 3 on the shot clock. Shot saved there from Chiliano as Drouet was nailed from behind.
They're going to get 2
they're
here.
going to call that.
Yep.
Of the original, and then the back check there on Drouet as he popped open from the crease.
So this is a huge opportunity for Colorado. We'll check the call with referee Greg Pepper.
Calgary penalties. Number 16, 2 minutes for the slash. Number 6, 2 minutes back check.
So Mike Carnegie gets 2 minutes on the slash. Garrett McIntosh, 2 minutes on the back check. And that's more of a high stick than a slash, but call it what you will. It's a penalty either way. So an excellent opportunity here as Colorado will have a 5-on-3. They'll play it 4-on-3, but get Greg Downing roaming at center. Time of the penalties, 3:31. Mammoth 0 for 1 with a man advantage. McLaughlin, Keogh, Wardle. Got to shoot that ball right on top of the crease. McLaughlin. Keogh outside shot. Harnett jumped in front of that one. That one will sting. Keogh, Crawford, shot off the post, off the back, and out. Reset to 30. And Crawford will regain possession.
Yeah, add another loose ball to Greg Downing's stats there. He's a loose ball master for the Colorado Mammoth. That's going to be the easiest one he gets all game.
Not sure why Plane was blown dead for the net being off the mooring.
Yeah, usually it's the goalie's responsibility to put it back on. Looks like the ref was giving him a break.
Still 5-on-3. Crawford, Keogh, McLaughlin, and Wardle. Keogh and Eli play 1-2. Here's Keogh, shoots again. Harnett jumps in front of that one. And he lets Keogh hear about it. 10 on the shot clock. Wardle one-timer save there from Chiliano. Ball's loose. Carnegie does a nice job just to bat it to open space and then pushes it to Shatler. And Calgary gets over the timeline just in time. Wardle pressuring Shatler, still hounding him. 3-man tripling the ball. Carnegie. Watched there by Dan Coates. 10 on the shot clock. Doby, he's dislodged, ball's loose, and it's picked up there by Downing, has Eli all the way up the floor. 35 remaining on the 2 penalties. This would be huge for Calgary if they can kill this off. Mammoth need to get a goal here. Get this crowd back into it. Keogh, pump fake, shoots, just missed wide. Rebound to center. McLaughlin, Wardle. That pass knocked down, 8 on the shot clock. Keogh, Crawford, pump fake, shoots and scores! That was a goal they needed. They'll still be on a power play for 12 seconds, but Crawford makes it 9-7.
Yeah, I was kind of watching the Mammoth are moving the ball very well in this power play. You can see how close Callum Crawford is. On the other side there, Chris Wardle was doing the same. I was kind of waiting to see when someone would do it, and there goes Callum Crawford. Just again, good patience, good little pump fake to get Chiliano to lift his stick up, and he buried it 5-hole.
Calgary, a little bit of confusion of who they want on the face-off team, and the Mammoth are saying they took a little long. It should be a delay of game. It should be their possession, but still 12 seconds on the penalty. It's Garrett McIntosh who remains in the box. Loose ball picked up there by Downing. 2-on-1 if they want it. Downing's just going to slow things up. And they got to be careful of Garrett McIntosh coming out of the bench. So they'll take 1 for the power play. Colorado now 1 for 3 with a man advantage. Crawford is 6th point of the night. From Keogh and Wardle, time of the goal 5:19 on the power play. Here's Crawford. He shoots, shoulder save, and up and out of play.
I know they only gave up 1 goal there, but the Calgary bench is reacting like they didn't give up any. Very positive on the bench there after that, only giving up 1 goal in that 5-on-3.
Well, after John Harnett knocked about 4 balls down, they got to be really excited about the way that short man unit played. Backing down his man is Crawford. Jump shot, that hit a deflected stick, goes into the corner, 8 on the shot clock. Crawford, can he get one on net in time? Spins away from his check. Got to shoot, he does it, scores! We say it about Eli McLaughlin, shoot till you're hot, shoot till you're not. Well, Callum Crawford just continues to find ways to put the ball in the back of the net, and it's 10-7 just like that.
And Johnny, maybe you break this one down. How do you contain Callum Crawford right now when he's going hard to the net like that? He's so deceptive, where he kind of hangs out his stick there, and that's just a great goal, getting Chiliano to drop to his knees. How do you defend that, Johnny?
I think you got to get upfield a little bit, defend that stick head. You can see Calgary sliding over late in the shot clock. When your man leaves to go to the bench, you got to go and double him and get him to get rid of the ball a little bit earlier.
Two goals in 58 seconds from Callum Crawford. He has 4 on the night. Crawford's latest at 6:17 unassisted.
You can see a lot of standing around there late by the Calgary Roughneck defense.
Almost expecting the shot clock to go off and not playing right to the final whistle. Adams skips it. Rouet shoots, they save their loose ball, picked up. Oh, Keogh almost able to put that one in the back of the net, and Chiliano slow to get up.
Nice job by Keogh setting a little seal there for Rouet to come around and get his hands free, and then follow it up by going hard to the net. Unfortunately, he just wasn't able to pick up the loose ball.
Chiliano quick to react, deny Keogh. Dixon now in the offensive zone for Calgary, gives off to Dane Doby. Berg, Schattler, Berg, inside feed, between the legs, Dixon, what an even better save from Dylan Ward to deny Curtis Dixon, who gives an earful to the referee.
Yeah, and he was open for a long time there, even before that pass got to Westberg. Westberg thought about shooting the ball, but Dixon wide open in the middle. It was a good heads-up play to try to get a shot off right away.
Down low far corner, Crawford watched there by Dan McCray. He takes a shot, bouncer, that one skips wide. Loose ball picked up by Adams, reset to 30. To McLaughlin shoots, and he just missed the far top corner. Great pass from Adams, but now Calgary gonna go the other way. Slow trail and slow numbers, 4 on 3. McCray to Doby, spins around his man, shoots and just missed far corner. Loose ball picked up there, far outlet. It's in the stick of Joey Capito. Slow 2 on 1. Capito, Keogh, pump fake, won't shoot it. Hounded there by 3 Roughnecks and still holds on to the ball. Keogh steps into Tor Reinhold. Now ball's near side with Wardle, 10 on the shot clock. Wardle shoots, ricochets off the near side shoulder of Chiliano. Keogh still battling. He gets knocked to the ground. Ball loose, picked up there, reset to 30, and Keogh will get a well-deserved rest. And I love that man's play.
It's a great shift by him. If the Mammoth fans didn't love him when he scored his first goal here in Pepsi Center, if they didn't love him after that hit, they're going to love watching this guy play without the ball as well.
Here's Callum Crawford, one-on-one with John Harnett, swim move, gets inside, Crawford, twister, saved there by a Roughneck defender, wasn't on target. Rouet's going to have to put one on net. 3 on the shot clock. And that'll be a shot clock violation. Rouet saying, I thought I put it on net. No shot given, and we will go to break. Catch your breath. It's 10-7 Mammoth. 6 minutes remaining here in the third quarter back.
Tonight's game is brought to you in part by Sports Interaction, Canada's home for worldwide sports betting. Bet responsibly at sportsinteraction.com. Disclaimer, only residents of Canada may open an account with Sports Interaction. The service is not available to users outside of Canada.
Next 10-7 from the Pepsi Center here on Altitude as you were listening and watching to NLL Lacrosse here on Altitude TV. Tonight's broadcast is a copyright telecast of the National Lacrosse League Incorporated, which may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcasted without the express written consent of the National Lacrosse League. Johnny, what was head coach Pat Coyle and his bench staff talking about during that timeout?
Just to stay the course. It was more communication from Captain Dan Coates there to play the next 5 minutes. You know, they realized they kind of let Calgary back into the game at the end of the first half, so let's focus on this next 5 minutes. It's a very crucial time, I think, for both teams here with that 3-goal spread again.
6 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Berg cuts through the middle. Dane Dovey runs around the top with possession, gives to Berg. Diagonal feed to Lowe, and he's dispossessed of the ball. Cam Holding, nice job to scoop up that Lucy, and he starts the transition. Holding to Downing. Downing shoots and scores! His second of the year, almost a carbon copy of his first, which was the first goal of the Mammoth season way back in January, and it's an 11-7 lead for Colorado.
Yeah, and the 1-2 punch there, Cam Holding and Greg Downing, the loose ball leaders of this team. You know, Cam Holding had 8 in just the first half alone. He made a great play getting the ball up the field. And like you mentioned, Teddy, I was thinking the same thing before you said it. That's just a great overhand shot by Greg Downing and pulled a short side bouncer to the top right corner there on Chiliano. Great way to get the team going out of a TV timeout.
Procedure called on Burton. Colorado ball. That's 3 goals in the last 4 minutes and 2 seconds for Colorado. Here's Brent Adams. That goal, Downing from Holding at even strength, makes it a 4-goal lead again. Here's Haywires. Haywires works, shoots! Oh no, they call it a no goal.
That's gonna be tight.
Haywires gets in the crease. And Chiliano is down, and Burton gives a couple extra shots to Haywires. As Haywires works his way in, that's a tough one, but looked like one of the knees may have been down as Fowler was right there.
Yeah, he's definitely dragging his feet. Thinking, oh, there's a challenge flag thrown by head coach Pat Coyle.
Taking a closer look at it, and that right knee, or the right knee does look down. But we'll have to wait and see. Head referee Chris Williams will go into the penalty box and make the official call. Shots by the Mammoth so far this game by the quarters. First quarter they had 12. Is no goal. Will have to be conclusive evidence. It'd be great to see Haywires have this goal turn in his favor, as the young rookie out of Loyola has really been working hard trying to get himself to be a regular in this lineup. With the injuries to Zach Greer and John Grant Jr., he's been starting to see some more action, and he's really been putting in some solid minutes for this club. 3 goals, 3 assists in the limited time that he's had, but he continues to get open, he continues to put shots on net, and he continues to work on his shooting, getting used to the bigger nets and the bigger goalies and the bigger defensemen. And you have to be impressed with his play early on in his young career.
Yeah, there's no question he's definitely getting the opportunity like any young rookie is going to ask for. So, you know, hats off to him taking this one hard to the net. You know, either way this goal goes, you know, he's definitely contributing to this Mammoth offense in one way or another.
Chris Williams has his verdict, and we will await his official call.
Shooter was in the crease,
Prior to the ball across the goal line, we got no goal.
As expected, and you could tell by the players on the floors, Calgary had its offense out, and Colorado had its defense out. They kind of figured it was going to go against the Mammoth, but nonetheless, it's 11-4, 5:17 remaining here in the third quarter between the Roughnecks and the Mammoth, live on Altitude. Thanks for tuning in wherever you're listening to here in Colorado as we celebrate 303 days. The Mammoth wear their signature Denver jerseys. Dixon, tuck and go, bounce shot, just missed wide. They're Colorado jerseys, not just Denver jerseys. And here come the Mammoth the other way. Cam Holden gets across center, finds Wardle out of the bench. Holding thought about staying to play. Reed's gonna go for a change, now he'll stay. So a few defenders out there for the Mammoth on O. Crawford backs his man in. Step back shot, just sailed it wide over the top corner. Loose ball picked up there by Holding. 5 of the shot clock. Holding tries to find Crawford, that pass goes behind him. Loose ball, Keogh tried to go for it. Now Keogh mixing it up with Dixon and McIntosh in front of the Calgary net. We'll go to break as nothing comes from this, but still plenty of lacrosse to play with the Mammoth up 4. We'll be back with the last few on Altitude.
That's impossible.
Tonight's game is brought to you in part by Sports Interaction, Canada's home for worldwide sports betting. Bet responsibly at sportsinteraction.com. Disclaimer, only residents of Canada may open an account with Sports Interaction. The service is not available to users outside of Canada. Tonight's game is...
have equaled their largest lead of the game. It's 11-7 over Calgary. And as we know, anytime these two teams get together, guys, it's always going to be physical as these teams have battled for every inch of turf out there all night long.
Yeah, it's a game of lacrosse, guys, and that's why we love it so much. You get these great physical plays, offensive on the defensive end. You get great skill to watch. There's that replay that Stephen Keogh hit. I think it was just a shoulder to a chest. Just unfortunately, Manning didn't have his head up. But yeah, nothing we wouldn't expect from these teams here. And you know, these guys do not like each other. They're definitely not going to be going for drinks after tonight's game.
Well, especially Calgary as they play tomorrow. The Mammoth players are all going to head up to Estes Park for a little team bonding over the rest part of the weekend. But we still got 19 and a half minutes of regular lacrosse to play. Here's Berg, near side Digby gets a pick there from Dixon, back to Berg. Dixon, pump fake, gets some time and room. Watched there by Downing, shot. That one goes well wide. It ends up on the back of Dylan Ward's cage. He'll outlet to Creighton Reed.
It's a great shift by the Mammoth defense. Johnny, I'm sure you can attest to that. It was literally just like a 3-man wheel with the righties there. They could not get inside and just settling for outside shots right now.
That kept very contained, protected that middle, and defended that stick head. Like you said, a good shift.
Gets a pick from Crawford, gives to Haywires. He'll shoot that hit off the stick of Garrett McIntosh. Sorry, that's off of Manning's stick, goes up and out of play. Possession stays here with Colorado, reset to 30. Haywires almost had that pass picked off by John Harnett. Keogh, shot, shoot, scores! And a force sweep for the Selly, his second of the night. And it's 12-7. Colorado.
A little aggressive there by the Calgary defender. Gets beat up top. You can't give Keogh that much room right down the middle.
Go ahead, John.
Sorry, yeah, you can really feel that momentum starting to shift right to my right in the Colorado Mammoth bench after that goal. A lot of heads down to my left here on the Calgary bench, and the Colorado bench really exploded. Momentum all going Colorado way right now.
Ilya Gaich lost his footing and lost the ball. Picked up there by Tyson Bell, who gets into the offensive zone for the Roughnecks. Watched there by Creighton Reed. He'll one-handed all the way to Shatler in the corner. Keogh, his 4th point of the night from Haywires and Wardle at 11:26. Outside shot from Berg, sails high. Rebound, Shatler's shot. Nice save there from Dylan Ward. Had to be quick to stop Shatler, who was cagey picking up that rebound.
It was a great save by Dylan Ward. He just knew the shot was coming quick, and he was out of position. He just tried to stay big, and he kept the ball from going in the back of the net.
Here's Eli McLaughlin. Crawford back to McLaughlin. Shoots. That hit a body. Save. Loose ball. Who's going to come up with it? It's going to be Garrett McIntosh. He's double teamed back in his own zone. Rouet giving pressure. And McIntosh outlets to Reinhold, who gets it across center. Reinhold pass doesn't connect, and Coates is going to give chase. And over and back violation called on Calgary. We talk about guys contributing in different ways, and sometimes for offensive guys, when you're not scoring goals like Wardle and Haywires, you want to attribute and contribute assists. They have 7 between them, and you like to see that. If you're not scoring, you're still getting passes, still helping your teammates get open.
Yeah, Teddy, you know all the attention's going to be on Callum Crawford and now Eli McLaughlin. So yeah, it's great to see those guys chip in however they can. Outside
shot there by McIntosh. He tried to go back to his favorite top corner. Loose ball picked up there by Ilya Gaich. Outlets to Creighton Reed. It just goes a bit too far, but Reed able to scamper onto that one and pick up the loose ball and give it off to Chris Wardle. Wardle watched there by Mike Carnegie. Takes a chop to the back of the shoulder. Late man is Crawford. Gives off Haywire. Haywire shoots right in the belly pad of Frankie Chiliano. I know he wants to get himself a goal. That's probably not the best shot to take at that position. Time on the shot clock. Dixon. He'll wait for the offensive troops to get on the floor. Finds Shatler off the bench and gets it right back. Now Digby. Doby. Bounced it near side. Dixon one-on-one. Backs his way in. Finds Digby. Tuck and go. Gets inside. Saved by Dylan Ward, who continues to stymie this Calgary offense. He's given up 7, and he's made, quick math, 34 saves.
Nice job, Teddy.
Mercyhurst education at its finest, bud. Keogh tries a swim move, turned back by Tyson Bell. McLaughlin gets underneath, shoots, just rang it off the post. Almost beat Chiliano far side. Here goes Calgary on the run the other way. 4-on-3. McIntosh backs his man down, gives it off to Carnegie, and he can't handle the pass. And he's pushed into the boards and gives off right back to Garrett McIntosh. Shatler thought about an outside shot. Haywires will go for a change, get a fresh D guy on. And that's Cam Holding, who goes right at Jeff Shatler. Shatler shoots from a bad angle, misses, goes off the boards right to Dixon. And that'll be a shot clock violation on Calgary.
You know, credit to the
8 seconds left in the quarter. See if Colorado can get one last shot here. Crawford shoots 5, scored! 1.1 on the clock. And it's just one of those nights for the Colorado Mammoth offense. You just didn't think they had enough time, but when Callum Crawford has the ball in his stick, anything is possible.
Yeah, and good thing I stopped talking there to let you do what you do best and call a great goal. Another great goal by number 98, and that's definitely a killer. You know, those late goals, usually you see it on a 6-on-5, but you know, in transition, what I was going to say was credit to the Mammoth defense, but you know, usually you see Calgary are really good at making adjustments, and head coach Kurt Malosky does a great job of that. And you know, they're just playing into the Mammoth's D right now, and you know, keeping the shots to the outside, and Dylan Ward's seeing them excellent right now.
Crawford's 5th of the night. His 8th point from Reed and Ward at 14:58 makes it 13-7. Back with the 4th and final quarter live here on Altitude.
Scott Digby on the take, scores!
Now back over to Dane Smith with a shot. Hit the goal post inside, he scores!
Afraid you might miss out on the big stories from your favorite team? Well, not to fear, the NLL newsletter is here. All you have to do is subscribe to the new NLL newsletter, and you'll get weekly updates from everything that is happening around the league. What are you waiting for? Subscribe today.
Inside the Loud House as Colorado has extended the lead to 6 as we get to start the fourth quarter. And Stephen Keogh has been an absolute beast. 2 goals, 2 assists, and he just continues to get it done. But it's been an entire team effort for this offense. But that hit really set the tone for this night.
Yeah, we talked about before the game, Teddy, what Stephen Keogh brings to the game. He not only brings a skill and the will to score and the will to do little things to pay the price for the offense, but you know, he's a gritty player. You saw that hit, and again, we got Christian Del Bianco back in the goal here to try to give the Roughnecks a different boost here in the fourth quarter.
I think the reason they're doing this is we talked about it. Calgary has to play tomorrow night against Georgia. My guess is because Del Bianco started, Giuliano is going to play tomorrow night against the Swarm, so they want to make sure they get him some rest. Give Del Bianco, the young kid, some minutes, get him some more experience, but rest Giuliano for tomorrow night as he makes his first save since coming back in the game early in the first quarter. We were talking off air between the break about how many assists Cam Holding has. He has 14 tonight. It's Dixon. Beats Dylan Ward right off the bench, and it's 13-8. We'll pick back up on Cam Holding in a minute. That's actually Dixon's first of the night. He comes sprinting off the bench and beats Dylan Ward short side to make it a 5-goal game, ends Colorado's 4-goal run.
And that was the point head coach Pat Coyle made during the intermission there, was we can't give up transition. You know, they got off, Colorado Mammoth got off the floor slowly. You can't give Curtis Dixon that much room coming off the bench. And that might be just a little bit of the momentum that Calgary's looking for to make this fourth quarter somewhat respectable.
There is Holding with his 15th loose ball of the game. He's played in 76 consecutive games in his National Lacrosse League career, 94 of 95 in his career. A fantastic set of numbers for Cam Holding, who's just been a warhorse for this Colorado team. Johnny, you know him quite well. What makes him such a special player?
I think it's his speed and awareness of the game. He's a very intelligent player, right? And he's very athletic and fast, and that really translates well to this style of lacrosse now.
Here comes John Harnett for the Roughnecks the other way. Takes a couple chops and gives a bit of an elbow to Gillis. There's Dixon working inside. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Digby tries to find a pass. It's picked up there by Creighton Reed. All alone from his own restraining line. Reed one-on-one with Del Bianco. Shoots and scores! Creighton Reed looking like a 20-goal scorer with that class finish. Bouncer short side on Del Bianco.
Yeah, nothing special about this. It clearly starts in the back end, but we can talk about that, Johnny. But you know, Creighton Reed he's a good scorer. When he has his hands free, he's very technical, very mechanical. He gets his stick right over his shoulder, points that butt in, and just snaps it to the bottom low corner there. And you're not going to catch Creighton Reed. We always talk about Joey Capito's speed. Creighton Reed is very fast as well.
I think he'll take that as a very big compliment.
Sure he will.
Creighton Reed, one of the more humbler guys on the Mammoth team. Very quiet, but when he's out there and goes about his business, he is one tough cookie. Reed unassisted at 132 as Adams tries to get in front of the net and score a goal. With the Mammoth able to regain their 6-goal lead, 14-8, 13 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter. Mammoth looking to win their second straight after knocking off New England last weekend. Dixon, inside feed, saved by Ward, ball's loose, and he snow angels enough to make the save, and here comes Jordan Gillis the other way. Gillis shoots off the post, and it ricochets all the way to center. Picked up there by Garrett McIntosh. Sorry, that's Chad Cummings, number 25. You can hear Kurt Milosky talking with Frankie Scigliano on the bench, probably to maybe relay some information to Del Bianco. There's Doby. Shot right in target. Easy save there for Ward. Ball's loose. And what are they going to call? They're going to call interference on Colorado. It's going to be Calgary possession. Dylan Ward has faced 44 shots tonight. Over the last 3+ games, he's faced 200 shots and has 166 saves, which is good for an 83% save percentage. Phenomenal numbers for the guy who I really thought should have won goalie of the year last year in the NLL. Here's Dixon, backs his man down, gives off to Shatler, shoots from his wrong side. Easy save by Ward, outlets to Ilya Gaich. Gaich, stutter step, spin move, one hand, backhand, almost thought about it, but he lost the ball and he gets knocked down. There's Callum Crawford to pick up the loose ball.
That was a good effort there by Ilya Gaich, and I'm sure all the Team Gaich fans are here in the building, like the energy out of number 15 there.
Haywire skips it up top. Keogh, one-hand drive, pump fake, duck and go, loose ball, picked up by Crawford. He shoots, that one's after the shot clock. And Del Bianco sprints out, starts the fast break. Tor Reinhold with it, trying to find an outlet, gets it far side to Dixon. Dixon watched there by Coates. Still trying to find time and room, passed off to Sweeting. Dixon has it. Digby down low, Berg. He's looking for time and room, takes a shot, Ward way out top of his crease to make that save. Loose ball picked up by the captain, Dan Coates. And he quickly outlets to Josh Sullivan.
Not a lot of ball movement there on the Calgary Roughneck offense, making it very easy for the Colorado Mammoth defense. A lot of one-on-one, playing in a phone booth like we like to call it, making it very easy for the Mammoth right now.
Ball skips far side. McLaughlin, Rouet on his wrong side, takes a shot from a bad angle, gets the reset, gets his own ball, gives to Crawford all alone. Pump fake, scores! Uh-oh, here comes the Sox! A Mammoth tradition, and we haven't seen it all season long here at the Loud House. Jamie, put your socks back on. Stinks up here.
Nobody wants these socks. Now that's just a demonstration that the Mammoth are just playing a lot faster right now than the Calgary Roughnecks. You mentioned Rouet on his wrong side, takes a shot, gets his own loose ball, and you see 3 Calgary Roughnecks players just ball watch, and they just kind of stop moving. We've seen this on a couple goals, and Rouet, great heads up play. Callum Crawford getting the right position, and you see his hands are not going to fail him there when he's right on the doorstep.
6th goal of the night for Crawford, gives him 20 on the night. We'll come back after we clean up the laundry here on altitude. 15-8's your score. Crawford has a sock trick in the Pepsi Center. It's 15-8 in favor of the Mammoth over the Roughnecks, and Callum Crawford has 6 of the Mammoth goals. And let's just sit back and be in awe of what number 98 has done tonight, Jamie Shuchuk.
Yeah, Teddy, he's got 6 and 3. We're usually seeing that reverse. Usually it's 3 and 6, but today he's just got the hot hand. But you know, look where he's scoring all his goals. You know, he's got a couple outside kind of mid-range shots, but he's getting the majority of his goals right on the doorstep, and he's got way too much time. And he's got that twister that I absolutely love that he has in his bag there. And you know, hats off to him for keeping the Mammoth in it tonight. And he's scoring the goals when they need him. You know, right when Calgary seems to get some momentum, Callum Crawford is the guy who's stepping up for the Mammoth.
The folks at U-Hawk are going to have their hands full trying to cut up a Callum Crawford highlight tape after his night tonight. And all of our sponsors here inside the Pep Center doing a fantastic job of making our job a little bit easier. Mammoth Network's one of the newest sponsors, local company dealing in fiber optics. With a few new logos down on the field, 92.5 The Wolf, UC Health, Altitude Sports, Epic Lacrosse, Pete Kia, everybody who's involved in making Mammoth games as successful as they are. Thank you for all that you do. And we still got a lot of lacrosse to go, 10 plus minutes, and the Mammoth have reached a season high, tied their season high with 14, now 15 goals, and it is a season high. Shatler finds Doby off the bench. Gets it right back. One-on-one with Holding. Inside Doby, backhand, what a save from Dylan Ward!
And that's really the only shot that Dane Doby was able to get off, because there's a Mammoth defender flying over from the other side, defending the stickhead like Johnny Gallant always talks about there. And great job by Dylan Ward getting over.
John Harnett picks off the pass from Brent Adams. Chad Cummings. Dixon. Pump fake. Turned back down nicely by Gillies. Dive shot! Goal! Curtis Dixon. And he gets his second of the night to make it 15-9 with 9:25 to go here in the fourth.
Classic Curtis Dixon there, just kind of playing the pressure from Jordan Gillis. A couple cross checks and just crease dives. That's why he has the nickname Superman. It's a great goal.
So we'll go right back to the face-off dot. Ilya Gaich gonna go up against Bob Snyder.
You know, on that goal there, listening to head coach Pat Coyle speak here after the defense came off the floor, you know, they'd like to see maybe a slide or a double, but if they're going to give up a goal here, the Mammoth are going to give up those one-on-one battles. You know, they're willing to give up those isolation type plays because those are few and far between where those are going to be effective.
Loose ball picked up by Robert Oak, gives off to Capito. Calgary goal, Dixon, his 5th point of the night from Cummings and John Harnett at 5:35, makes it 15 tonight. There's Keel. Spins away from his check, takes the shot, 5-hole bouncer. Give him a hat trick in his first game in the Pepsi Center.
Great ball movement again by the Colorado Mammoth. Just, you know, they're still playing fast. You know, with 8:54 here left in the fourth quarter. You know, that's a great little spin move. Tyson Bell maybe a little over-aggressive, kind of lunging at him, and you can't do that with Stephen Keogh. And that's just an excellent heads-up play. He comes around the roll dodge there and gets his stick high and bangs it low.
Pretty interesting story. We see in a lot of sports when a player comes to a new team that's a bit of a veteran and they often want their number. Well, Brent Adams was wearing 28 for most of the season. When Stephen Keogh came over, I think he wore 87 or something like that in his first couple of games. And Ilya Gaich went up to Brent Adams, said a couple things to him, and next thing you know, Keogh's wearing 28, so I asked him, what'd you give him? He goes, actually, you know what? I haven't given him anything yet. I got to figure out what to do. So a nice gesture from the rookie Adams to give the veteran Stephen Keogh his number 28. It's just, you know, class move by the young guy, but, you know, Keogh's going to have to get him something nice. Shot there from Doby goes wide, picked up by Berg. Works his way behind the net, gives up top Dixon.
Oh, we got a scrap here.
Downing and Doby
You don't see those guys looking to drop the gloves very often. I don't think I've ever seen Dane Dobie square up a guy like that. Downing, I'm sure, is willing to go anybody, but it's kind of a rare occurrence there.
I didn't even see what started that, John. Do you have eyes on that?
Just listening here between coaches going at it here behind me a little bit. You know, that's been something that's been going all game. Like we've mentioned, every stoppage of play, the trash talk has been going on pretty good. Dan Dobie's been a little upset. He's felt he's been open.
So they just give each 2 minutes for unsportsmanlike.
Felt like he's been open a few times there in the middle, right? He's come off last 7 minutes, very frustrated, just had enough. But that trash talking between benches, between teams, has been pretty intense all game long.
And I can see why a guy like Dane Dobie would go after someone like Greg Downing. Downing's one of those guys that you cut the middle, you know he's there. He's going to give you that whack across the wrist, or he's going to cross-check you. Kind of reminds me of the way the old number 11 played here in the Pepsi Center. Good buddy John Gallant down there was a little pest as well.
You never annoyed people, did you, John?
Oh, never, never.
Bird to Digby as we play 5-on-5. As Downing and Dobie each got 2 minutes unsportsmanlike. Lowen gives across. Digby, tuck and go around Sullivan. Twister 5-hole, rang off the post. Loose ball picked up there by Creighton Reed. He quickly outlets up the floor. Coates, long outlet lead. McLaughlin shoots, great save there from Christian Del Bianco. And now Curtis Dixon has in the offensive zone.
Good to see Del Bianco get a save there on a breakaway. Give the young kid some confidence here. He's had a rough go, not seeing the ball as well as he wants to, so great to see him save that breakaway.
Dixon shot, tried to go short side high, just missed.
Break here.
Picked up by Hope. Long outlet pass to Jordan Gillis. Gillis, he'll shoot. Nice save again from Christian Del Bianco. Chad Cummings races across center. He'll slow things up, wait for the offense as Dixon slowed into the Calgary bench.
The Roughnecks are in a dangerous spot here. You know, they do play tomorrow night, and you can start to hear the communication on the bench about that, about playing tough, physical, finishing this last 6 minutes and trying to carry it over into tomorrow. That's a good mentality for a team playing back-to-back, but it's a dangerous mentality because you start playing a little reckless.
Capito bounced it to Wardle, gives near side Ruiz. 6.5 to go here in the fourth quarter. Mammoth leading 16-9. Nice pick and roll slip. Ruiz shoots, and another nice save from Christian Del Bianco. Cummings again will outlet. Finds Berg off the bench. Tuck and go. Nice save there. Even better save from Dylan Ward. Curtis Dixon.
Pulling the goalie here.
6-on-5. Del Bianco to the bench. No delayed penalty, just Calgary see if they can't maybe gain some momentum and claw their way back into it. They're going to shut Dixon off. Diagonal feed. Shot there by Tor Reinhold. Picked up by Ilya Gaich. He's got an empty net if he wants it. He'll outlet to Josh Sullivan. Sullivan's not going to shoot, but he's got a man off the bench. McLaughlin shoots and scores! What an unselfish play by Josh Sullivan to give it to the hot hand of Eli McLaughlin. And it's 17-9 as Colorado continues to rack up the goals here against the Roughnecks.
Yeah, unfortunate for the Roughnecks there where they have the goalie pulled, but, you know, credit to the Colorado Mammoth. Just, you know, Ilya Gaich gets a loose ball, Sullivan breaks out, and it just tic-tac-toe in the back of the net, and Eli McLaughlin again continuing his hot streak this game.
McLaughlin, his fourth of the night on 7 shots, 6 point. McLaughlin from Sullivan and Gaich at 9-17.
For those young players out there, last few goals here by Creighton Reed and McLaughlin, not a lot of fakes. I noticed there, Shuey. You might want to talk a little bit about that there, how that's difficult for a goaltender, but that stick up and just a little wrist shot, beating that goalie to the spot.
Yeah.
Dixon.
Yeah, absolutely, Johnny. It's just one of those things where, you know, when you're coming at a goalie with speed, you want to get him moving side to side. And, you know, if it's a wrist shot. You know, that's what a lot of young kids, they want to shoot the ball as hard as they possibly can, but, you know, that quick little wrist where you're hiding the head of your stick because you have both hands above your shoulder, you know, it's very difficult for a goalie to stop. And when you're leaning one way and shooting the other way like Eli did, you know, the goalie, I think, is going to be, you know, have the lower percentage to save the shot.
Wardle to Adams. He shoots, trying to go 5-hole, saved by Del Bianco. He'll outlet to John Harnett. Pass just a little too far. Adams runs him off the ball. Adams 2-on-1 with Crawford on his wrong side. Adams shoots and scores! What a shift by Brent Adams. Backtracks to pick up the loose ball. And goes down on a 2-on-1, and it's 18-0.
That was an excellent play, Johnny. I remember you doing this, chasing guys down, and you teach our kids this, the same thing. Just put your stick on his stick or his back shoulder there. Adams did that. The Roughneck player missed the ball, and he made a nice hit, and then just makes no mistake. We talk about the athleticism of this kid, Adams, and that's just a great heads-up play all over the floor there by him.
Unofficially, Adams from Gillis at 10:30. And here come the Roughnecks the other way. Dixon to Schattler. Berg off the bench. He shoots, another save from Dylan Ward, who turns it aside. Schattler picks up the rebound, reset the 30. Doby's back out there. See if he runs into Greg Downing before this game's over. Shot there from Digby goes wide and goes up and out of play. And we'll take our final break of regulation. It's become a runaway as Colorado has a 9-goal lead over the Calgary Roughnecks. It's 18-9, the final minutes here on Altitude.
So not necessarily his performance just this week, but his performance from this entire season so far is the reason why Craig England is my unsung hero for this week.
Yeah, Craig England continues to get better. And if you look at that Buffalo Bandits team, every player is so excited when he gets a goal and kind of, you know, tapping their sticks. And he really adds a lot of energy to that lineup. And I think he's been an important member of that club. Like you said, not had the greatest start, but really ignites this team and adds some energy into that lineup.
And what an amazing story it is, because he's bounced from a couple of different teams, but it seems like he's really found his rhythm and his place on this Bandits roster. So I'm just excited to see how the rest of the season turns out for him. So not necessarily...
Welcome back inside the Pepsi Center, ladies and gentlemen, here on Altitude. 18-9 for the Colorado Mammoth. Let's take a quick look how we get here. In the second half, the 10-7 goal as Callum Crawford continues to just put to work this night. He goes far side, top corner, late in the 30-second shot clock. This outside ball from Greg Downing made it 11-7, and the route started to roll.
Yeah, guys, it's been a great game here for the Colorado Mammoth. They're playing like they're in mid-season form. You know, they've been on the losing end of this battle between the Roughnecks and the Mammoth, and clearly they've scouted their opponents very well this game. And unfortunately for the Calgary Roughnecks, they've been on the wrong end of it.
That last goal from Stephen Keel made it 16-9. They've added 2 more ever since. Crawford has 6, his first ever career sock trick. Eli McLaughlin has 4 goals, setting a career high points, goals, and assists here tonight. And Colorado has had at least 50 shots in 4 of its last 5 games. And here comes Dan McCrae for Calgary. Finds Dixon. Watched there by Sullivan. Back to McCrae. He'll shoot. Shoulder save by Dylan Ward. Outlet to Creighton Reed. 3:20 remaining here in the fourth quarter. Crawford. Far side, down low in the corner. And Mammoth just happy to kill some time here. Use 30, take a late shot, see if he can't get a rebound. No need to put anybody in any danger. Still got a lot of lacrosse left to play this season, only halfway through. And they got a couple big weekends coming up, especially next weekend, where they have to play the Rush on the road and then come back for a Sunday night game here at the Pepsi Center against the Vancouver Stealth. Westberg far side. Inside feed. That shot goes up and into the net. It's going to be Colorado ball. Here's Coates.
What's been most impressive to me here watching the Colorado Mammoth tonight is their ability to withstand momentum. Calgary's worked their way back into this game numerous times, but was never able to get the game tied or to go in the lead. And that's something in the past that's really threatened Colorado in these style of games, is they're going out to that big lead and then giving it up late. So it's been impressive tonight watching them withstand that momentum from Calgary.
Outside shot by Rouet went wide. He had to backtrack on defense as Snyder and Bell were pushing in transition. It was 7-6 at one point, and that was the closest it had been. And that's when Colorado went on their run. We might see
looking
some
for
roughs up
Dobie
as
again
Dobie.
here. Yeah. Looking to go with Joey Capito.
Outside shot turned aside by Dylan Ward. Reset to 30. Dobie continues to have words with Capito. Final 90 seconds inside the Loud House.
Let's go, he says.
Thank you for the Russian translation, John Gallant. Adams, shot saved by Del Bianco. Colorado giving up 3 goals here in the second half after giving up 1 in the first quarter, 5 in the second. The defense, as they've been known to do in the last few weeks, have just really shut things down. Outside shot, another shoulder save by Dylan Ward. Oh, a nice one-handed stab there by Shatler. Shatler shoots, rang it off the post. And that loose ball will bounce right to a Mammoth defender, and Bryce Sweeney couldn't pick it up. Shot by Burton, another save by Dylan Ward, and then Burton piles into the crease trying to stab it home. There's Burton, I think that's Ilya Gaich come together. 36.4 remaining. Everybody on their feet inside the Loud House. Coates just gonna run it across center. Season high for Colorado of 18 goals, besting their previous season high of 14. Gillis bounces it far side to Haywires. Just got to stay away from trouble. Gillis gets it back, finds Adams. He's just going to roll it in the corner. Final 10 seconds. Mammoth will have won 2 straight for the second time this year, and they'll go into a huge weekend next weekend off a 18-9 win over pretty much their arch rival, the Calgary Roughnecks. Jamie, this was an interesting game from the opening face-off. You know, both teams were just feeling the tone, but there was that 4-0 run early. Calgary was able to battle back by 1, but it was the second half by the offense and defense, a full team win.
Yeah, it's been very impressive showing here tonight by the Colorado Mammoth at home. You know, they've been gone for a whole month here, let's keep in mind too, so they want to put a good performance on for their fans and, you know, look like they have been scouting their opponents, and I think, you know, credit to the coaching staff tonight. They did a very nice job in all facets of the game today. Again, Dylan Ward played phenomenal. You know, you got guys chipping in, getting the ground balls, and, you know, it was an all-around team win, and that's what it's going to take to be successful in this league and continue that momentum in the later half of the season.
Callum Crawford, you will look at your 3 stars tonight. Your 3rd star, Stephen Keogh, 3 goals, 2 assists. 2nd star, Eli McLaughlin, 7 points, 4 goals, and 3 assists. And no doubt about your number 1 star, his first ever sock trick, and your 4th player of the game, Callum Crawford, 6 goals, 3 assists on 14 shots. and he was just so good tonight. And ever since we've seen the injuries to Noble and Grant and Greer, his game has really gone up a notch.
Yeah, 100%. He was the team's leading scorer last year. He was at the top of the league in points, and I mentioned it earlier. We usually see the goals and assists flip, but tonight he put on a great show. He was finding his teammates like he usually does, and again, it was kind of strange to see the Roughnecks leave him on top of Christian Del Bianco or Frankie Chiliano that often. But it was a great game for him. He's going to be happy with that, and move on to the next one.
The Mammoths take it 18-9 over the Calgary Roughnecks. We'll be back to wrap things up here from the Loud House on Altitude. Colorado Mammoth Lacrosse on Altitude is presented by Peak Kia. It's a great idea. By Ideal Home Loan. First they listen, then they lend. By the Ford F-150. Get the truck that was made to work. Ford F-150. Built better, built stronger, built Ford tough. And by the Toyota RAV4 in your hometown Toyota store. An exciting new design makes RAV4 the right choice for any adventure. It was a mammoth night, pardon the pun, here inside the Pepsi Centers. Colorado beats the Roughnecks 18-9 on 303 Day. Welcome back inside the Loud House, Jamie Shuchuk and Teddy Jenner. And it was a 4-0 run that started it. And even though Calgary got back to within one, you really had the sense that Colorado was always in control.
Yeah, Teddy, they got to Christian Del Bianco right off the bat. They played fast tonight. That's what I was happy to see with the Colorado Mammoth tonight. They're moving the ball on offense. Everybody contributed. Dylan Ward did what he does all season. So excellent effort here by the Mammoth in their 303 jerseys tonight.
It was from Dylan Ward out, as you said, but everybody really contributed. You're getting D goals. You were getting sock tricks from Callum Crawford. 4 goals from Eli McLaughlin. Wardle was chipping in with assists, but we got to start with Dylan Ward. It's his 4th straight game where he's allowed 10 goals or less. He's continuing to supplant himself as the best goal in the NLL.
Yeah, and typically, in the locker room, you have the offense focusing on their job, you have the defense focusing on their job, and they want to play for each other. And clearly, if you're putting up more than 10 goals a game, you're going to put yourself in a good position. 18 is a lot, so definitely made it a little bit easier for Dylan Ward in the pipes tonight.
4 more than their career, so their season high of 14 earlier this year. 18, not something we really expected between these two clubs, but they really had Calgary's number in a game that they really need to win. It's going to give them a little bit more distance in the standings, but the second half, their defense really shut down, only giving up 3 goals.
Yeah, and Johnny Gallant mentioned the momentum swings, and the Mammoth just had an answer for everything tonight that the Calgary Roughnecks threw at them, and you can see the frustrations. Talk about Dane Dovey going after Greg Downing there at the end of the game, and that's what it's going to take to win games in the season, and especially to carry over into the playoffs.
They've now won 2 straight, but they have a huge weekend coming up next weekend to take on the Rush and then the Stealth here at home. But how do you keep this momentum going as a team, even though you're going to have a long week?
Well, it's nice to get a win on a Friday. They're going to spend some time together doing some team building this weekend, and have some fun and continue this. But they got to continue to play like they want to be champions, and they're definitely showing this in the midseason right now.
Yeah, they showed the energy from loose balls, that one play that Josh Sullivan made to set up Callum Crawford, the hit by Keogh, and even the play that Brent Adams has set up his second goal of the night. Just a full team effort as we take a look at the final stats here. Shots on goal, 59-53. Dylan Ward has now faced over 200 shots in his last 3+ games. A really nice bounce back in the face-off circle by the team as Ilya Gaich tried his face-off skills late in this game. But overall, Jamie, this is probably the best performance we've seen from Colorado.
Yeah, it's great to see, especially at home at the Pepsi Center here. And, like we keep mentioning, they did a great job scouting their opponent tonight, and the Calgary Roughnecks just had no answer for them as a full team effort. And, they're going to have some fun this weekend, and back to the drawing board for next week. It'll be a big weekend.
They chased Christian Del Bianco from the net early, and they just continue to roll throughout the game. And here is a look at these updated standings. A 2.5 game lead over both the Roughnecks and Stealth, and just 1 game behind the Rush. And they would love to go into Saskatoon next weekend and take a game that they really feel they should have won a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, they're definitely always tough games against Saskatchewan Rush. They have a full team capacity to put their best effort, and every opponent that they face is going to have a challenge. So credit to the Mammoth that they play like the way they did tonight. They're going to put themselves in a great position to win.
It was 303 day here in the Pepsi Center, and it was just a fantastic night all night long. But there's still plenty of lacrosse to go as we just crossed the halfway mark. The final score, Calgary 9, Colorado 18. Be sure to join us Sunday, March 12th at 7 p.m. when your Colorado Mammoth face off against the Vancouver Stealth here at the Loud House. Please go to altitude.tv for your upcoming Mammoth broadcast schedule. Altitude, your HD home for Mammoth lacrosse. For myself, Jamie Shuchuk, John Gallant, and the entire crew, thanks for your company, and goodbye for now.